What's up, future millionaires? It's Mike the Investor. Now, in this video, we're going to be diving into the Enjin coin and this dual token known as Efinity. And Enjin, the company, also announced that they have opened up a $100 million Efinity Metaverse fund. And we're going to be diving into what exactly does this mean for the two projects and why I think they are set to explode in the gaming industry. Now, in the previous video, we talked about the top 3 metaverse crypto projects in my personal opinion, and Enjin was one of those. Now, I do think Efinity does have a promising future, what it is going after, and we're going to be diving into that in this video. But before we do, go ahead and take advantage of grabbing some free Bitcoin by using the Voyager and BlockFi link in the description below. But enough talking, let's jump into it. Alright, crypto investors, welcome back to the channel. Now, this video is broken down into a few different sections. The first part we're going to be diving into is the price chart of the Enjin coin and the Efinity token. Secondly, we're going to look at how the Efinity token and the Enjin coin actually works together. Thirdly, we're going to look at what exactly is the $100 million Metaverse Fund by Enjin. And then fourthly, we're going to dive into what is the Efinity token and why is it so important for the Enjin ecosystem. And so before we go ahead and dive into it, there are timestamps down below if you do want to look at some specific parts in this video. But let's go ahead and look at the price chart of Enjin. Okay, so according to CoinGecko, the current market cap for the entire cryptocurrency market is around 2.9 trillion. It is up around 3.5% on the day, and then for 24 hours, the volume 125.5 billion. Now, if we look at the Enjin coin, ranks 63 out of the top 100, and its current price is $3.31. Now, if we look at the market cap, a little over 3 billion, and we can see the max supply 1 billion, and then you can see 934 million that's in current circulation. So just briefly looking at the price, now Enjin has started to wake up a little bit since I put out that video and since it put out the news of that $100 million fund that it will be putting out. So a lot of investors, are aware of that and understand how this can be big for the project. So if you can see just for the 14-day, it is up almost 80%, which is almost a 2x. That's pretty impressive. And so if we go to the 14-day here, you can just see a complete shoot up from, if we go back to October 25th at $1.83, we can just see this baby has just been rising, as we have been in this bull market. And so if we go over to the Efinity token, I do want to show you here on CoinGecko, since this is what we started at, current price is 173, but since it doesn't have the market cap and circulating supply and all of that and max supply, I'm going to pull it up on Coin Market Cap right here. Circulating supply is around 54 million, and then we can see for the fully diluted market cap 3.4 billion, and the market cap is only 94.2 million. So not even 100 million yet. Still a very small project with a lot of promising future in my personal opinion. Now, when we look at the max supply, total supply, we can see it is 2 billion. So just a little bit more than what Enjin is. Enjin is 1 billion, and then Efinity is 2 billion. Now, the Efinity token, me personally, I do not own it. I actually learned more about this project as I was doing, more research on the Enjin ecosystem, which I'm gonna briefly show you a screenshot of later on in this video. But now let's briefly take a look at how does the Enjin coin and the Efinity token work together, because the Enjin ecosystem powers the Efinity ecosystem. So let's check this out. Alright, so we are on the Enjin website itself, and we can see that the Enjin coin and the Efinity token are dual tokens. Enjin and Efinity work together in unison, each serving a core purpose within the Enjin ecosystem. Now, while Enjin is used to infuse digital assets like NFTs, Efinity is designed to pay for transaction fees, facilitate liquidity, community rewards, and governance on the upcoming Efinity network. And this is how these two actually work together. And so as we move over to the $100 million Efinity Metaverse Fund, let's go ahead and kind of move down into why this is so important. And so as you can see, and you can find this on the Enjin website, enjin.io. And so as we can see, introducing the Metaverse Fund. The Efinity Metaverse Fund will aim to support Enjin and Efinity adopters and other organizations working on it. And they're going to be doing that by the Enjin ecosystem integration, which is integrating with Efinity, the Enjin wallet, NFT.io, marketplace, and the rest of the Enjin ecosystem. Now, when it comes to the Metaverse projects, it's going to be building a collaborative NFT project on Efinity and Polkadot, which is major, and then featuring assets usable across multiple projects and chains. So there's your cross-chain Oracle feature. And now we have the gaming, and it says Enjin was forged in gaming all the way back in 2009, will support gaming projects on all platforms as well as projects in adjacent spaces like mixed reality AR and VR. We have esports, immersive entertainment, virtual events, and similar things. And so as we look at the NFT decentralized applications and projects, we have applications such as collectibles, digital art, music, tokenized data, apps, and Web3 and cloud applications. We have the decentralized infrastructure where they're going to be building cross-chain and multi-chain infrastructure. And last but not least, you have the pioneering projects where they say they're going boldly where no one has gone before and building in other areas related to the metaverse, NFTs, and Efinity's core infrastructure. Alright, so now that we understand what the $100 million Metaverse Fund is going after and what they're looking to develop, let's see why Efinity is so important and why they're spending so much money to develop the Efinity Metaverse. Let's check it out. And so we are still on Enjin.io. This came out November 5th, the day after the Enjin announcement came out of the $100 million Metaverse Efinity Fund. So let's go ahead and move down a little bit. And so the following is a guest post written by 𝗏𝗏𝗏 Studio and Metaverse CEO of Simon. And these two projects are on the Enjin ecosystem. And so he says, at Metaverse Studio, we are currently building 4 different games, from MMOs and mini games to Minecraft and GTA servers. That is big. Each of our gaming experiences is suited to a different audience. And then in the other project, My Metaverse, we are building what essentially amounts to the Steam of NFTs, a Metaverse Explorer, game library, and app store that can host every genre of NFT experience imaginable. This is big and it gets even better. And so check this out. Some people say, how can we have the audacity to try to be everything to everybody? And they say, well, one thing is universal, and this does stand correct. Everyone wants better, faster, and cheaper. I would have to agree, would you? And so, as it says, he says, we can do this because, one, while we innovate ways to provide better, faster, and cheaper NFTs for our customers, Efinity is the blockchain that will take them to the next level. Why? Because it is better. It offers complete decentralization, infinite upgradability, real-time NFT valuations, and instant NFT sales. And then of course it is faster. It is able to mint 20 million NFTs per second, and it is cheaper. Transaction fees are expected to be a few cents. And this is big for the NFT space because we understand that NFTs, non-fungible tokens, is the future. And when you have a platform that is built for that and also has its own metaverse as well, I mean, this project is set to do great things. And this is why I mentioned in the previous video, the Enjin coin is a hybrid metaverse project because it builds a marketplace for NFTs and allows people to integrate those into games and apps and things like that. But they also have an entire ecosystem where, as we're looking at now, Efinity has its own metaverse that is building out and developing. And this is why they put that $100 million fund for the Efinity Metaverse. But there's a couple other things I want to show you on this Enjin press. Let's go back and look at it. And so as we move down here a little bit, it says, why is Efinity already so successful? The short answer is Enjin. I would have to agree because the Enjin ecosystem powers the Efinity token. And so this press goes on to say, as a founder of this space, Enjin's ecosystem has grown to become one of the largest game app NFT networks in the world. And this is the Enjin and Efinity ecosystem, which we're going to take a look at here briefly. And so as we move down to the last couple parts here, Enjin has already been adopted by over 70 game and app developers, and nearly all of them will adopt Efinity. And so you can see that it's going to gain a lot of market share. And so the last section here I want to cover is Efinity's gravitational force. And so it goes on to say that while Enjin is Efinity's launchpad, Efinity is an ecosystem onto itself. Enjin is the best set of NFT development tools in the space, where Efinity is more like the internet of NFTs. And so now, unlike Ethereum, Efinity's core blockchain infrastructure will grow independently as third-party developers contribute to it and the Efinity community governs it. And so now the last thing we're going to cover here is the Enjin and Efinity ecosystem. Now I'm going to move myself out the way and blow this up so we can take a closer look at it. And so as of November 2021, this is the Enjin and Efinity ecosystem. You can see that it is pretty large and it is still growing with a lot of credible names. And the two tokens that power this ecosystem, of course, is Enjin and Efinity, which are dual tokens, and we took a brief look at how they actually work together. And so we can see that this project is definitely poised to do big numbers in the gaming industry, with it being revolutionized and transformed in front of our eyes as we see today. Now, as I mentioned in the previous video, Enjin is a top 3 metaverse crypto project in my opinion, which I do own Enjin. Now, I do not own the Efinity token. However, I am thinking about potentially making an investment in this project because of what it's going after and who it has backing it, Enjin. And so, yeah, I may be a little biased, but I do think with it being a newer project, it can have a lot of growth in the short term and also in the long term. And I also remember I didn't actually show you how it's performed, so I'm going to briefly show you the price chart on CoinGecko for the Efinity token, just so we can kind of see how it has performed so far. Let's check it out. Okay, so we're back on CoinGecko. Let's scroll down here briefly, and if you can just see on the 30-day, it is up a 2x, 108%. 14 days, it is up 90%, 7-day, 82%. So let's go back up here, just look at the chart here a little bit. We look at the 30-day, we can see it started around, 79, 78 cents, and we can see it's just been shooting up ever since. And so I'm not saying to buy into this project, but I do think it's a project to take a look at, if you are one of those people that's wanting to invest in some of these gaming, play to earn, and NFT, projects that are coming up in the space today. Now, if you gain some value from this video, most importantly, do me a favor and smash that like button. Share this out with someone you know as well. Not only does it help them be more aware of crypto and what's coming, but it also helps the channel out as well. But that is all I got for you. Remember to stay inspired, stay motivated, always invest in yourself, and I'm out.